Well, we're so excited. It is country football back, and I'll tell you what, this fella is excited too. At the paper at Warracknabeal, they print up a terrific paper, the Herald, and the surrounding areas, Dimboola and out at Rainbow, and their sports editor and one of the fellas who covers off on both Horsham District and on the Wimmera football for the paper is Scotty Stewart, and he joins me for season 2021. How are you, Scotty?
Yeah, Wayne, how you going? Yeah, good to be back.
Great to be back, and tell you what, I bet those blokes at the Warwick Eagles and out at Minyip Matar and around the Southern Mallee Giants, I reckon there'd be a lot of families that are relieved that we're having something designed to go out to do on Saturday afternoons.
Yeah, I reckon you're spot on the money there, Wayne. I reckon when the kick-off comes around, everyone will be right to go. I think, I know it's our own club, and I can't speak for everyone, but getting those volunteers back on deck, and everyone working hard just to get some local sport happening, and I think everyone will be pretty well excited when the time comes around.
Yeah, absolutely. Time comes around next week for most of the clubs, but a couple of the clubs have already started over the Easter. The traditional rivals game, Ararat plays Stawell, and it was Stawell. They were the Warriors, 15-19, 109 to beat Ararat, 5-2-32 in senior footy. What do you make of that? I mean, Ararat, after the year off last year, who were very much a side roundabouts in 2019, hammered by their arch rival in the opening game.
Yeah, they certainly were, and a lot of people around the league watchers around Wimmera League, well, I'm not sure if they would have been surprised, but there's a lot of talk with Ararat, and over the last couple of months they've lost the power of experience in that team from 2019, and obviously no football last year. And my old coach, Matty Walter, was the coach of Ararat this year, and he was appointed last year, but obviously couldn't do it. But he's taken a helm again this year, and I think they've lost a lot of experience and the blood, and a lot of kids, which Ararat do. They've done that for years. They've got a lot of talent, junior talent that keeps coming through. But obviously they're in a massive rebuilding stage there. By looks of it, with that result, with Stawell giving a bit of a touch up there on Good Friday, which was a pretty warm sort of day around the Wimmera too. So they would have been earning their drink at the end of the day in that game. But they might have a bit of a battle with numbers, I'm thinking, because from all reports they lost a pair of players.
Yeah, they have. Driscoll kicked 7 and Moody 4 for the winners, and J. Dark, C. Driscoll and S. Williams, the better players. Jamison 2 for Ararat and Taylor. Cousins and Mills were the players that were judged to have done reasonably well. Over to other clubs, and with the game starting next Saturday, we thought we'd preview who they've got and just where they might be at. Quickly on the Saints to play out of Coghlan Park. How are they looking?
Yeah, I think they... Saints are traditionally, they've always got a strong side. I don't know if you go through the clearances at the moment, there's a couple of key players that have left the club, but I got David John appointed as their coach, first time coach. John, he's a bit of a goal kicking star in the Wimmera League in the time, especially during that period when Horsham was winning all those premierships. But Jones has stepped out of behind the microphone, and he's now going to be coaching for the first time next weekend. And I think they've got a couple of key ins. I know young Mitch Martin, a kid that grew up with the Saints, he tried his luck with the Rebels, had a couple of seasons down there, and I know he's come back into that side. So I think, the Saints, they'll go on. And I think, John's good luck to him, and he'll be excited, I reckon, and ready to get those young fellas going, yeah.
He certainly will be. Demi, they've got to do something after they made a little bit of resurgence in 2019 after many years on the bottom of the ladder with that premiership going back into the mid to 2010 times. So Dimboola, what have they got? Yeah,
they... all reports of they're going to be a big improvement. You touched on it right there with Demi at the end of 2019. They were up and about and they were going. And, with COVID coming in last year, they would have been ultra excited about heading into season 2020, but they've recruited very well. I don't know all their players. I know they've got those reports through the summer months that there was some very good talent that was heading Dimbulla's way, and I think they'll be top 5 for sure, no worries, and they could be pushing right up there amongst it. I'm thinking, and just a prediction with those guys. I think the coach Justin Bugler, I think he must have some pretty good contacts, and they've got a hard-working committee, and they'll be so keen to get into this game, and that'll be a crack of that game to start off with. So I think Jimmy, they'll be a force this year for sure.
Okay, the D's out of Horsham on the City Oval. They the previous 2019 didn't make that grand final because that was the Southern Mallee Giants who lost to Wimmera in that game. Will they come back, and are they going to be another dominant force again in 2021?
Well, you think they, with the year off last year, that's probably helped them because he took the 2019 and they had a bit of a battle. Yeah, they had a bit of a leaner year that year, but they, this is Horsham. They're always bringing good kids coming through that system. There's a few players that they've recruited heading back into the club. And traditionally you're never going to write Horsham in any season there, and coming off that 2019, they'll be ultra keen to get back into it. And another 12 months into those kids that come through the under-17s a couple of years ago, and they'll be up there again. But how far they can improve, that time's going to tell on that one.
Right about these new Tigers. Now, in the off-season, Kaniva came to the Horsham district. There was talk about even Nil and Kaniva having a association with each other. Didn't come off. I'm not sure just whether that was the best scenario, because it might have been a really, really good one for Nil and Kaniva, but they're now still playing separately as clubs. Nil in the Wimmera. Where do you see them at?
Yeah, Nil and Kaniva, there was talk on that one, wasn't there, over the summer months, and with the COVID thing with Kaniva, and got getting a little bit worried that if they did have a bit of an outbreak between the two states. But the Mill boys, I haven't heard a lot, to be honest, with coming out of Mill. Dave McCumber's very important as a coach there, and he'll be keen to get a young list up and about. And they'll always. They start the season pretty well. Sometimes whether it's the travel that they put into the players that they recruit, because they always have a lot of players that travel back there. But whether or not they're doing that again this year, time will tell on that one. But not a lot of knowledge on Nil, but. That'll be interesting to see how they go, to be honest.
Yeah, okay, and we'll have a look at Wimmera, the defending champs from 2019, the Burrows. What have they got?
Well, I think the Burrows will start a fairly favourite to you'd still call it back-to-back flags from 2019 to 2021. I'm thinking 2020 they probably would have had the name inscribed on the Premiership Cup, because they haven't lost too many players, and from all reports they've picked up some quality. I know we're talking about Horsham Saints there before. There's recruit they've got, Luke Fisher, who used to be the coach of the Saints for a number of years there. He's headed to Borough Camp. He's principal over there at the primary school, and Luke is top little footballer, and he's going to help so much. And you've got Luke on one side of the spectrum, and then they've regaining Kieran Delahunty, a former Tui medalist, and lad that's been up in Darwin over WA, and now he's come back into the Borough Camp. So they're going to be strong. They'll be the Premiership favourite. They'll be the yardstick that everyone will be chasing, and I know our club's got to face up to them first up. But there was talk last year that Tim McIntyre was a key recruit in 2019 that it probably might not have returned last year, but more reports he's back. and he'll be pulling on the Burrows jump again for 2021. So they'll be strong, Wayne, and they'll be very good.
Very good. Yeah. You've just mentioned the three players there. McIntyre, a medalist in the K&T in South Australia. Luke Fisher was the captain coach of Donald, and very talented. I think one of their best and fairest at the Royal Blues in North Central also before coming across to the Saints. So really big pick up there for Minyip Matar. Finally, quick one. Warwick Eagles, your home deck, your home club, not on their home deck in their first match. You'll be over at Minyip for that. But how do you see the Warwick Eagles?
Yeah, I think Warwick Eagles have a little bit of a battle this year, and I think more with numbers. They are going to have a bit of a battle with the two sides on the park. For starters, from 2019, lost a couple of key players, Nick and Jake Peters, just a couple of boys that won't be around from 2019. In regards to recruiting, haven't picked up a lot of players. I know Danny Bell, he's stepped into the role of assistant coach. He played in 2019. Zach Holmes, so we know that Zach has been was appointed for the 2020 season, and he's back on board. So as a non-playing coach, but Zach will do well. The Eagles picked up a couple of boys last year from Donald that we're going to have a bit of a run, but with COVID and no footy and 12 months down the track now, those boys have gone back to their home club now. So they, in regards to recruiting, it's a bit light on, but Warwick always had some pretty good kids coming through, and I know the boys that were going to be promoted into senior footy last year have gone away to college now, but two of them, they're all are coming back. A couple are staying where they're schooling, but a couple are travelling back. So that's good for the club to get those local kids back together, and that's what they'll put their trust in. The young fellas, Ryan McKenzie, still around, Dalton Kent, Jake Cheney. We've got a bit of experience that'll need to guide these young fellas again, but they're going to have a bit of a battle because, the first couple of rounds are going to fall on Matar and Southern Valley Giants in rounds 1 and 2. So we'll see after a couple of weeks how they're going. But be interesting. They'll be just all keen, like everyone, just to get back into the footy and have some fun with it.
Yeah, certainly will be. We're all keen getting back into it, and great to have Scotty Stewart from the Warracknabeal Herald back on board for season 2021, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Yeah, go on your Wayne, will do.